I haven't seen Paul for a while either, but hopefully he's doing all right. I'll catch up with him soon. So yeah, Jai was just asking about B1G1, and if I can get my screen share going, we can have a quick look at B1G1 because, as you know, this is Cardano Q&A, which we run weekly on Fridays, and Fluid Pool is the Cardano stake pool that we're associated with, that I run, and the pool is a mission-driven pool, which means that we give to charity on a semi-irregular basis. Based on the number of delegators we get determines how much we're able to give. So the platform that we're using to do that is B1G1. And if I can share the right screen, screen 2 should work. And B1G1 is Business for Good. They are effectively a payment portal for charitable giving. They provide a portfolio of projects around the world that they have interacted with over, well, since they started, and the list is ever growing. If you are a registered charity in your nation, then you can sign up for the B1G1 platform to receive charitable giving through their platform. They'll then list you as a project on there, and you can find some benevolent businesses, because it's typically a business to charity setup, that will tie their sort of social good giving from their business activities to your charity. So the way that Fluid Pool uses it is that every week or every epoch that you delegate to Fluid Pool, so if you're a Cardano holder and you come and delegate to Fluid Pool, for each week that you are delegated to the pool, Fluid Pool will take from its profits, if it had any, or regardless of whether it has any or not, we give to a charity in Ethiopia, which is a school. We provide them with funding for ICTs and internet access. So this school has its bills effectively paid for, which lets it run its infrastructure and keep its IT stock up to date. And Fluid Pool contributes to that in correlation with delegators to the stake pool. So this is a really good model, I think, for helping improve the human condition around the world and giving businesses an opportunity to really share in their profit taking, also tied it with their charitable giving. So the idea being that if you can find something that your business does, whether it's every sale that it makes, it can actually take a portion of that and give it to a charity. You then have a portfolio of charities that are vetted, that are monitored, to know that you're giving to something that is functional, worthwhile, and still making an impact. That's the other big thing that being a B1G1 contributor does, is that it tracks the metrics on the sustainable development giving or sustainable development goals that it's giving is producing impact for. So there are 17 sustainable actually worth getting them up sustainable development goals that are set out to be achieved by 20. Well, they're a kind of a permanent running thing, but the idea is to, along with a lot of the eco goals we've got for 2030, it ties in with those as well. Set up by the United Nations, and this is a good thing that the United Nations have done. One of them, some of their habits as a whole as a global organization are questionable, but these 17 United Nations goals I really like. So it gives us a palatable, easy, brandable way of engaging with social giving. They've got these categories, 17 of them, each with a goal in and of themselves. So end poverty is number one, got zero hunger, good wealth and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water sanitation, and it goes on down this list. And so every time you are making a giving donation through your business, the charities that you're giving to that fit within these categories are logged and tracked. So your dollar giving amount is also correlated with an impact based on the number of impact you're making towards these SDG goals. And that's a really good way of having just some global metrics about how we are doing in terms of improving the quality of the human condition throughout the world. So I really like this as an approach, and it's it's well known. It's on a global scale. It's not tied to a particular nation, and they're just something that humanity as a whole can work towards. So it's a good metric to have. And with B1G1 tracking those metrics against each of the projects that they're involved with, I think that's a really good way of seeing what impact this organization is making as a whole. So B1G1 have a good model in that you pay a membership fee for being part of B1G1, and that membership fee covers all their operating costs. So that is about £35 a month, I think it works out to, a bit less than that. And the giving that you do is separate from that. So they have a different account system for their operational costs to their actual giving costs. So anything you give above and beyond that membership fee goes directly to the charities that you're giving to. So there's very clear transparency in terms of how much it costs to run their business. They're a C corporation registered in the States and in based out of Australia, Singapore. They have their annual reports detail exactly what your membership fee is going towards in terms of operating costs, and then they have their giving impacts measured and tracked on the websites like this. So 485 projects meet the criteria for improving on quality education, and so far all the businesses that give through B1G1 have made 17 million impacts, 17.7 million impacts. So these sort of broad metrics gathering just shows you a good swathe of the types of conditions that are being improved in and around all these projects. So I really like this approach, and I think with the sort of desire of blockchain to really be a new economic layer, to be a new financial operating system for the world, then there's all sorts involved with economic activity, and charitable giving is one that is really important. If we can improve the spread of wealth through to the edges, we can actually have grassroots improvements. We can be improving the potential for every human around the world, then everybody's quality of life goes up as a whole. And so the giving portion of the economic layer is crucial, and this is a big contributor to it. They're not fully on board with digital currencies, cryptocurrencies, DeFi as of yet, but we are working towards them. And so that's one of my goals with the pool, is to try and get us to the point where we're actually able to be using decentralized currencies to provide this giving, which will again cut out a whole load of middlemen, will reduce the loss of your giving power through middlemen activity, and the widespread adoption of decentralized finance as a whole will ensure that we are less vulnerable to particular local currencies vulnerability. So the situation in South America, a lot of Africa, parts of Asia is very much determined by the strength of their local currencies. Venezuela being a real case in point. They've seen rampant inflation. So where we've seen inflation, in the West, in the North here, of reportedly 11% or 13%, I think at most, we're probably seeing much higher than that. Certainly cost of goods that we're paying for, fuel, milk, bread, eggs, have all risen far more than that in the shops. So our spending power is decreased. In developing nations, that has only been amplified to a far greater degree. So they're seeing, paying 5 times, 10 times, 20 times more for their cost of living than they were previously, pre-pandemic. And these large global events impact every nation, more so to the developing nations. And so if we can actually reduce the impact of currency printing, which is directly correlated with global disasters, we need to print money to pay for combating these disasters, which then decreases the value of the pounds and dollars in our pockets, which then makes cost of living go up. And what we really need to do is be able to detach monetary policy on the nation state level from the production of currency globally. So if people are able to use and participate in a global currency that isn't tied to the economic policies of a particular nation, then we're going to see a more fair and equal combat to inflation around the world, which is really what we need to see developing nations be able to lift themselves out of just being recipients of donations and actually contribute their GDP to global improvement. So Jaya, go and have a look at B1G1, see if it can make sense for you to bear in mind that monthly fee that you need to cover for the costs of participating with B1G1. But on the back of that, you are getting, a series of better charities. You can get your, if you have a foundation that you want to get listed on here, you can do that as well. There is a
Sorry, John, did you say?
I think it is. Sorry, go on.
There is a charity that already you can register. If there existing charity, can they register it, or can we do we need to include it?
So you can get yourselves listed if you are involved with a charity. I've forgotten what the page is at the moment. I'm just trying to find it for you. Joining as a cause, that's the one. So here you can go to b1g1.org, and this is where you'll be signing up as a charity to actually get listed, and then other businesses can then be giving to you as a charity as well. And there's different criteria for participating as a charity than there are as participating as a giving business. But obviously, you don't pay for membership as a charity. You do as a business. So yeah, you can take it the two-pronged approach. You produce these great or gather these great woolen products from Nepal, which may create Christmas gifts. I recommend to everybody. So I imagine you'll be doing another Christmas promo. So if anybody wants to have a look at, drop your link in the chat and I'll share it on the Discord as well. Jaya.
Thank you, Zinedine.
And if you can tie some of the profits from your sales to giving, that's one way approach. But also if you have a charity that you can get on board, that's another good worthwhile thing to do. And there's a school in and around oh dear, I forgot where they are. Is it, I think Kenya? They might be in Kenya, I'm not sure. But anyway, there's a school that is got a principal who's very involved in Cardano, and he's trying to get to the point where he's registered charity. They're doing a whole load of food provision for their students and free education, which they rely on charitable giving to actually be able to do that, because they don't have there's no economic model for making money from school education, really, because the parents of the kids who go to these schools are on the poverty line themselves. So to get their kids educated costs a lot of money in their nations. So if we can actually be using giving and educating those kids, they'll grow up to be contributors to the global economy and pull their nations out of poverty, which is a great cause. So if we can get that school list done here, that's what I really want to do as part of my activities as well. That will then let us be starting to, maybe give to them directly from the fluid pool as well. And I do think it's important to have that layer of vetting of charitable projects as well, because I've worked with NGOs and charities for years in my web development business, and there is inefficiencies and unwise spending in every business I've been involved with, as well as every NGO and every charity as well. So having well audited, vetted charities to be giving to is a crucial part of making sure that our money is being effective wherever it is being used. And in fact, while we're on this sort of giving bent, there was another project that I do like as well, and I want to give a quick promo to Give Directly. So this is a platform that has got a very similar model, and you're actually giving donations directly to individuals. So it's much more peer-to-peer. And there is worth in giving to charities, but actually giving to people who are, they're running their own enterprises, their own businesses, is a great thing to do as well, because then there really is no middleman between your giving and the person who's then spending it on the necessities they have to run their businesses or their charities. And I think that's a great thing to do too. So Give Directly is another good one to have a look at. And I, as well, of course, like Kiva, which is another charitable project, but doesn't get involved with direct giving. It gets involved with lending. So with Kiva, you can be an investor who takes some of your funds and lends it directly to a small business in and around the developing world, who will then pay you back over time from their profits. And so you're really helping to fund innovation and enterprise on a micro scale, directly with your investment funds. And again, in a similar way with Fluid Pool, if you stake your ADA with Fluid Pool, you're earning interest on that from the Cardano blockchain. You're also then enabling Fluid Pool to be able to give directly. With Kiva, you're taking your investment funds and loaning it to a small enterprise in a developing nation, who then pays you back over time with interest. And their giving record, their return on investment record is very good, and all those metrics are tracked and available to you. And you get to pick from thousands of different individuals who will send you photos, send you updates on how your dollars are being spent and impact they're making. So again, another great platform to have a look at if you're thinking about getting involved in giving at all, which is close to my heart, and part of Fluid Pool's sort of purpose of being is more than just to be able to supply and serve the Cardano blockchain. We want to be involved with improving the lives of people around the world as well. I'll drop all these links to the Discord server, as I always do. And if you do want to get involved with Fluid Pool, learn more before you stake or anything like that, then you can go to discord.gg/fluid7, and that will get you onto our Discord community. If you want to join these calls live, you can come to fluid7.com/CardanoQA, and we are on at 8:30 UTC on Fridays every week. So do come and join and like and subscribe.
From next week onwards, the time will change. No, Jonathan?
Sorry, say that again.
From next week onwards, the time will change.
Yeah, so we're in the UK, where several of us we'll be moving to 9. Well, so we'll stay at 9:30, so that'll then become 9:30 UTC. So yeah, good point.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. This is really
so. Jonathan, is about charity-wise, like tax-wise, how do you have to do something for this as well? Or like obviously the tax is like exempt if you sort of like use your money to give charity. Is that something?
So as a business, if you are carrying out charitable giving, then you can use that to offset your tax and liabilities. The certainly if you're a UK taxpayer, then if you give directly as an individual, then the charity can actually claim gift aid back. It doesn't apply across the board to all charities, but certainly to UK charities, they can claim gift aid back, which is a significant additional contributor that the UK government makes towards businesses who carry out charitable giving. So they get 28% more out of your money, which is a good thing to do. So if you are personally giving, that's great. Businesses, I don't think business giving doesn't qualify for gift aid, so you might want to adjust your giving accordingly if you do give through business. But then you do get that back in offsetting your tax. So a good way to contribute, reduce your tax bill, and be able to be giving as well. Does that cover your question, Utam?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So there we go.
Yeah, it's a really informative, Jonathan. So I will quick look onto the B1G1, and as you said, like even I don't have like a registered charity. Maybe from that B1G1, I can choose any charities as well. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The reason I'm just going back to Nepal as well, I'm thinking to make one of the charities to find out there. And then if I register the charity, then that registered charity, I have to go to apply to the B1G1.
Yes, exactly.
It needs to be qualified within that, that 17 sustainable goals within that, isn't it?
So yeah, the categorizing of where they fall in the 17 goals, that will come afterwards. You just need to get them. So if they're a registered charity in Nepal, with all the correct paperwork, they can sign up. You can sign them up onto the website, b1g1.org, and then that process will take you through finding out what their charity actually does, which sustainable development goals metrics they meet, and then those goals will be assigned to their listing on the website. And so when people come and search for a charity, they may be searching particularly for shelter, and so then there'll be a listing of all the charities that actually meet the sustainable development goal to do with shelter. This is the login for B1G1. Once you're signed up as a giver, you get to see this platform. Then you can find forget where the list of projects is. It's under project list, useful to think of. And then, for example, as a business is searching for something to get involved with, they may be particularly interested in Nepal. So let's see if we've got any from Nepal listed. So we've got a few. And again, they
educate a child with special needs. Yeah. Sumi is really looking for that one to do the project.
Okay, good.
So that's why that one I was looking for. Well, there is already the charity. Then maybe I don't need to register for the charity. I can choose from one of these and then do that way. It will be much easier than to.
Yeah, certainly. And if you had a particular charity in mind that you're already involved with, then getting them listed is a good thing to do. But if you haven't one picked out already, then just going on finding a project here that exists already and see if that meets your mission, your purpose. So this is World Youth International.
That's Sumi's one. That's not mine, but the
okay. Sumi's passion.
Yeah. Will help her, but
So you can go and read up about the organization itself. You can see their website, what impact B1G1 has made to the giving with them.
To access this, do we need to be registered first with the B1G1 and only we can see, or without that also can we search and find out?
I think you need to, yeah,
Be a
subscribe
member?
first before you
Okay.
get the full listing.
Mhm.
There probably is a decent amount of listing on the public site, but yeah, certainly the individual projects and how much, you know, the giving and what that will do. So, you know, it's only 4 cents to educate a child per day
Oh,
in the pool for this. So, you know, you can then decide how much you can give, and then you'll get the metrics on. You know, we're educating 10 children in Nepal through the profit making of this project, and that's a sort of, you know, really useful marketing metrics you can put on your website and on your Christmas cards or wherever it is you do your promotions. So a good thing to do. Cool.
that's great. Great.
That's
Thank
really
you so
helpful,
much.
yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate it now,
Right.
Yeah.
Jonathan.
So again, this is Cardano Q&A, so literally you can stop me at any point, ask questions anytime. So Harry, feel free to jump in if you've got any questions. I normally prepare a few things to look at in and around Cardano. And so actually, let's see my notes, see what I picked out. I actually touched on most of these previously. One of the projects that is close to Fluid Pool's heart is Optim Finance. So these are a lending protocol on Cardano and a yield protocol as well. So as an ADA holder, you can stake with a community pool like Fluid Pool and earn about 3.5% APR in interest. If you want to get a better return than that, now the community staking is completely fluid, so you don't have to lock up your funds for any period of time. You can spend them whenever you want. They fully remain in your wallet, and you can, you know, add to the remove from them, and it's all gets tracked with 3.5% staking automatic. So it's really flexible. If you're looking to spend your ADA at any point, then that's the best way to do it. If you want to get a higher return on your ADA, in return for locking up your ADA for periods of time and moving it out of your custody and into the custody of somebody else, then you can actually participate on a platform like Optim Finance. So Optim Finance offer bonds that you can send your ADA into, and these are smart contracts that reside on the blockchain. So they're up there, been up there for a year or so. I've been participating in one since the start of this year. So you can put your ADA into that smart contract, which can't be changed. That's one of the important key things about decentralized finance, smart contract based operations, is that once a smart contract, which is effectively a series of rules around what happens to the ADA that gets put into it, once that is on chain, it can't be changed by anybody. So if you're happy to rely on the security of ADA, then you can be happy to rely on the storage of that smart contract, the fact that it can never be changed. Now, of course, you've got another layer of trust that you have to work your way through, in that, do you trust the writers of that smart contract, and do you trust the smart contract not to have any bugs in it? Once you've satisfied that criteria, then you are, you know, free to really participate in this platform as much or as little as you want, knowing that the rules, as you understand them, will be carried out without the control of any human individual. They are just written into the blockchain, and the blockchain will ensure that they're carried out. So with an Optim Finance bond, you put your ADA in, and there's a selection of yield criteria that you can find listed on their site. So they have these bonds that will run short bonds, 1 month, 3 month bonds, 6 months, 12 months. And several of these, certainly long-term bonds, are tied with stake pools themselves. So a pool operator like myself can borrow $1 million ADA, for example, and offer a 5.5% return on it. So people will lock their ADA up into my bond for a 5.5% return on interest rather than the 3.5% you'll get from liquid staking. So that's a better return on your investment, but you are locking up your funds into a smart contract for this duration, so 12, 6, 3, or a month. Some of these short-term bonds have even better rates of interest. So I think the highest I'm seeing here is 6.5%. They have been as high as 7.5%. So you can keep an eye on here, see which one then meets the criteria you want to have. So you can lock your ADA up for a month and earn 6.5% if you participate in this bond here. So you put your ADA in, as long as so the total amount of ADA they're looking to raise is 100,000 ADA. So you may have 10,000 ADA you want to put into it. It'll take you and several other people to then fill that bond. When that bond is full, it will then be activated and converted into an on-chain bond. And from that point on, you'll then be earning interest. You don't get any interest payouts for the duration of the bond. It all comes at the end as a lump sum. But you will be getting, if you put in, I'd have to connect my wallet, which I can't do from here, so I can't really demonstrate it beyond this point. But if you connect your wallet, you can put in chunks of 100 ADA at a time, and you will see your return on interest, how much ADA you'll be getting back at the end of that 1 month period, in addition to your initial lending in. So that's a good way, and I would call this a very stable, secure way of getting a higher return on interest than pretty much anything else out there that involves smart contracts. So obviously the most secure, the most trustworthy, bulletproof way is by staking it with a community pool, because that's completely fluid. You can take your ADA out at any point, and it's built into the layer 1 protocol. This is a smart contract which is written by third parties, so not by IOG or Emergo or Cardano Foundation. It's written by the Optim finance team, who are excellent developers, and I've spoken to their team several times before I got involved, and they have written this smart contract. They've had it audited by third parties to them, and then that smart contract is written on chain, and those contracts can then be used forever by anybody who's able to participate, as well as this interface here, which Optim Finance supply. If you can interact with smart contracts directly, you can provide your own user interface, and that's the power of decentralized finance, is that it's up there, it's on chain, and anybody can, even if the Optim Finance team end up disappearing because they're not making enough money to run their operations, then these smart contracts still stay online. They still fulfill the criteria without any human intervention, and that's a bit that you're relying on. And in fact, there's another layer that you can then take to further leverage your bonds after this point. So there's a new platform, or newish platform, called Danogo, which I think I have mentioned once in the past. The exact URL. It's obviously not a popular domain yet. I don't find it for us. Have I got the wrong name? Sure, that should be turning up by now. Is it like on Twitter, which is my source for all the latest Cardano information? Not Danogo. Anyway, there is another platform above and beyond the Optim Finance one that you can actually take those Optim bonds and use them effectively as ADA again, because obviously these bonds are, once they're on chain and filled, and we know they're going to pay out at the end of the duration of the bond, the person who takes the loan out has to be paying in their interest with enough of a buffer, so a 6 epoch buffer. So effectively, you know that a month's worth has been paid in advance, so you know it's at least going to run for a month. So this bond itself is only a month long, so you know that that money is already being put into it to pay all the interest needs by the end of it. And some of the longer term ones, they only need that month long to be paid up front, and so then you can have the person who's paying for the interest might run out of money, their project might slow down, and if they then fail to fulfill the interest requirements of that bond, it automatically liquidates once they hit their buffer, and anybody can then go to the platform and withdraw the interest that's been earned up to that point. So you don't have the full duration. Say it's a 12-month bond, you don't get your full 12 months of interest, you just get, say, 6 months of interest, but it is still the same APR that you're getting back, and you have a quicker access to your funds, so you can then participate in another bond again. So you really can't lose with these. And as a result of that security and stability, you can actually take these Optim Finance bonds once you've bought them and leverage them on another platform, effectively giving that out as a loan, offering to pay interest on that bond yourself, and borrow a whole load more ADA. So people have been scaling up their leveraging and doing crazy things with them like that. So which is some of the power of DeFi. And these sorts of financial tools and mechanisms are typically not available to us as retail investors. We'd only have access to, a trading platform that we could put our investments into, or a portfolio that we can put our investments into, and we don't get to leverage them above and beyond that. But now with decentralized finance, all those funds that are currently being over leveraged and used again for various yield by banks and financial systems, we now have that ability to do it ourselves on a retail level, which is putting the power back into the hands of the individual, which should be the case all along, because that's got a far greater degree of fairness to it than the wealthy and the regulated being the only ones who can actually participate in that additional yield. So if you are interested, you do a lot of learning first, do a lot of watching first before you get involved, but these are the sort of things you can start to do. And certainly I've been participating in this for a year in liquidity pools, in yield greater than just holding ADA cryptocurrency, and I'm doing well off the back of it. I'm saying I've had more out than I've put into all of my ADA investments so far. So it is working, and it is very secure and stable to date. Obviously, there are always risks, and you need to gauge those on every level. And nothing I say is advice, just education. But yeah, you should feel free to have a look at Optim Finance bonds, as I've been using them for a year, and they've been flawless. They're a good thing to consider. Great. So any questions on any of that?
We do have a separate question, Jonathan. We recently, sir, as you're aware, that we amalgam all our ADA into, even like from Flute Pool for our voting. So we have one place where our all ADA holding at this moment. So I know last time when you spoke, we said we can now put back the money back to the previous project that we initially storing. Now the situation is we don't know what's the next. Shall we sort of put all that money back to the Fluid 7, or how what's the best process? Because we have, as you know, last time we had the ADA in multiple wallets, and then we amalgamated one, and then we for voting purpose. Now voting's done. I guess the snapshot is taken now, so just want to know the push.
Yeah. So
The next step for us.
typically we've had used multiple wallets and talked about multiple wallets in the past because there have been initial stake pool offerings going on. So you can put your portion of your ADA into an ISBO pool, and you're effectively giving up your ADA rewards, your ADA interest, in return for a new token that you'd get in return instead. So there have been several of those running over the past year. At the moment, there aren't many ISPOs that I'm aware of that are or have interested me to the extent to actually participate in them. So I don't know if you've got an ISPO in mind that you were using before and are still paying out that you want to continue being involved with.
We don't. We will think we'll only over fluid your one. So we're discussing about now putting all back because previously we had some ADA in Kraken, all those places. Now we got all in one sort of wallet. We just now we're thinking about putting what's the best way? Shall we put all back to Fluid 7 and you sort of like disseminate whatever you require, or
yeah, if you don't have any other tokens that you're looking to get specifically, then stake it with Fluid Pool. And again, because Fluid Pool offers liquid staking, you can change at any point. So if a new offering comes up that looks good, then you can take some of your ADA out and move it to that ISPO pool. But
sorry,
yeah.
Jonathan, at the same time, in the same question with the Hans one, we use like in Eternal, there are 3-4 different folders, yeah, within the I think Eternal, and that's how we separated the ADAP. But now we put in like a voting for one folder, everything. So can we keep it as it is and then put everything in a fluid? Is that the better way? Or even like before in Eternal, do 2-3 folders separately, we need to keep it as a separate.
No, it's fine. It's fine just leaving it in the wallet you've got it in now. You'll go in Eternal. You will go to the staking tab on that wallet, the one that's got the gathered ADA in.
Yeah.
And then you come down to the search bar, search for a fluid, and then this wallet's already delegated to Fluid Pool, so there's no button for it, but you would see a button like this, delegate. You click that, sign the transaction, and then within a couple of epochs, you'll be earning ADA interest from that pool again, from Fluid Pool again. So that if that wallet is already staked to Fluid Pool, because I know that you've had them in the past, then you don't need to do anything because that will already be delegated to Fluid Pool, and you'll see it on the tab here. Current delegations should look like this. It should say Fluid Pool on for the next 3 epochs, and so you'll be getting your rewards showing up on this home tab as well, to show that it is actually earning you ADA rewards. The Fluid Pool has been minting blocks, so you'll be earning interest.
So then, in terms of like once it's voting done, then we don't have to do anything. I'll just keep it as it is, and then because we didn't delegate to any other to any other what it is called ISPO or any other things. We only wanted to delegate in the fluid, so then we don't need to do anything then in terms of what you've said. It's just it's ongoing now then.
Yeah, exactly. You can just leave it there, and you'll be earning the native ADA rewards about 3.5% APR. So yeah, you've done everything you need to. The only thing is then to keep an eye out for other opportunities that might be interesting to you. So with Fluid Pool, at the moment we're earning AA tokens is it's probably the most the greatest unknown token in terms of value yet. So if you've participated in the A Starter
Yeah, I
promotion,
think you said at the time we did it, I think.
yeah, so I think you put some ADA into the Opportunity DAO, which we run as well, and that will get you back AA tokens in return for some of the dollars or pounds or ADA or whatever you put into it. That will happen when the token generation event happens. However, in the meantime, because they expected their token generation event to happen, near the start of the year, but market conditions mean that they've just not felt comfortable in doing it yet, because tokens that have launched have then lost value rather than gained value. The market is turning around, so they are looking again at when's the best time to do it. I was speaking to the team this week, and they're still not ready to do it yet. However, what they are doing is bringing forward their staking mechanism. So their long-term staking mechanism is, once the generation event happens, the AA tokens that you'll hold in your wallet will be earning you additional AA tokens, and then you'll also be earning ADA from the additional ADA you've got. And so it's called merge staking, because if you're holding ADA or AA, you'll be earning ADA and AA from it. And that will run from the point of the token generation event. However, people have been sitting not earning AA for a long while now. So they spun up their own stake pools. So there's AA stake pools out there now, AA1. I think they have 2. And people have been staking to those directly. And that way you'll be earning ADA tokens from them. And also, yeah, these are them. So AA1, AA2, and also you'll have earned a promise of the AA tokens down the road. And they've got a calculator on their site to see how much you would be earning, if I can find it again. I might not have it listed. Tools, under tools. Yeah. Okay, there. If you look back through our Discord history, there is a link to the calculator somewhere back there. But that will tell you how much AA tokens you're earning by staking to an AA pool currently. But because we are a partner pool with A Starter, they want to start rewarding anybody who delegates to Fluid Pool with AA tokens, with earning AA tokens as well. And so they're currently building a new tracker for that. And they'll be taking a snapshot shortly as to when you'll start earning your AA tokens already. So even before the generation event happens, we can start to earn the AA tokens as well, an allocation of AA. And I've got some notes on it here, which I'll just refer to see how much is going to be allocated and to where. So the value of AA tokens is not known as of yet, because obviously the token hasn't launched. Their products are starting to launch, but the token that will run them hasn't yet. So they have got 250,000 AA tokens available to distribute to partner pool and associate pools whose delegators register. So they're working on a form at the moment. So by next week or the week after, we'll have a form that anybody who is delegated to Fluid Pool can go and register with. And once you do that, then you'll start earning these additional AA tokens, which effectively is an ISPO, an additional ISPO that you can participate in with Fluidpool from now. So we are a member of several other ISPOs that are ongoing. Those tokens are speculative. The AA token has got a suite of DeFi products behind it as well. So they've got a decentralized exchange. They've got a launch pad for token launches. They're working on a money market lending borrowing protocol, and they'll be working with oracles to ensure accurate price feeds from the real world. And then down the road as well, they've got, because they're backed by Emergo, one of the founding organizations of Cardano itself. Emergo are working on releasing USDA, which is a stable coin. Then a starter will have a good liquidity, a good pool of liquidity for the USDA token, and when that launches as well. Again, because of the regulatory environment in the US in particular, that stable coin has not launched as of yet, but that will be, will be coming still. And in fact, the founder or the CEO and one of the technical officers for Emergo were speaking at one of the government departments so it was the Wyoming Stable Token Commission, and so that's an interesting video to go and watch, just to see how cryptocurrency founding entities, Cardano founding entities, are contributing to the governance of the tokens in the US. So they're really contributing to that conversation. Stable coins are coming, and it's great to have founders of the entities that we're involved in being part of that conversation. They're starting to see regulation drawn up and built out properly in the States. Obviously, with the States being the issuers of US dollar, which is the global reserve currency at the moment, they are an important regulatory hurdle to get over before stable coins really reach mass adoption. But we are certainly a good way down that journey now, which is great. And it's important that those stable coins do well, because they are going to be a great mitigating factor to central bank digital currencies, which are the centrally controlled alternatives to decentralized stable coins. Central bank digital currencies are a huge threat to our privacy and freedom and autonomy. So yeah, stay clear of central bank digital currencies for as long as it is possible, and help promote and drive the adoption of stable coins and decentralized cryptocurrencies in the meantime, because that is freedom. Central bank digital currencies are slavery. It's really that clear cut. So yeah, do watch out for them. I'll drop a link to this video as well. So yes, 250,000 AA tokens will be distributed. So once that form is released, I'll get it posted onto Discord. Go and register, and then you'll be starting to accrue additional AA tokens above any you may have got involved in the pre-launch token sale for. In addition to that ISPO, as a registered delegator to Fluidpool, you'll be eligible for an additional partnership opportunity. So there is a project out there called the Cardano naming service. So behind the internet, there is an entity called the Internet, and they run the domain name service. So DNS, you possibly heard of. This isn't DNS, which is the protocol that ties domain names like google.com to an IP address, which is a computer address on the internet, which means that humans can interact with the internet and with the World Wide Web much more easily. An equivalent is being built for Cardano, so you'll be able to interact with addresses on the Cardano blockchain much more easily. So we've talked about ADA handle in the past, which is a short handle that you can have on your wallet. So you can buy an ADA handle, and people who want to send you funds to your wallet can just send it to the ADA handle instead. So if you want to be generous and give some money towards Fluid Pool, you can send it to my Fluid 7 handle, and I think I've got Fluid handle as well. If you want to have a website or a Web3 site, then you can actually have a domain that is tied to your web assets as well. So I could create a web application. Oh yeah, excuse me. A web application that has a Wallet Connect, and that will interact directly with blockchain addresses. And so there we need a Cardano naming system, which will be the equivalent. So instead of going to to interact with your Eternal wallet at the moment, you can go to eternal.io, and that would let you then see the application. They'll prompt you to download the Eternal wallet browser extension. With the Cardano naming system, they could then end up having eternal.ada. So you'd actually have a top level domain that is ADA for denoting the Cardano blockchain. So you'll know it's a Cardano blockchain application and address that you're interacting with, which I think is another important step in bringing a human-friendly layer to the blockchain. And so if you are a delegator to Fluid Pool, and this is a exclusive first release, first note, and nothing has been signed or set in stone yet, but this is a hint of what's coming, is that we'll be able to have a top level domain, fluid.ada, which then I'll be able to issue subdomains of, or virtual domains of. So you could end up, if you're a long-term participant in Fluid Pool and you've been involved in my calls, you've helped forge our decision making around who we're giving to, or any other topics that we talk about on these calls, then you can register for a subdomain on fluid.ada. So you could end up with, for example, jaya.fluid.ada as a web domain that you could, or a Web3 domain that you could have and start to interact with. Obviously, with any domain naming system, it has to be adopted by the browsers before it can really be used. And so the Cardano naming services has not got that integration built out yet, but they are working towards it. There are a couple of naming services that are working on this. One of the oldest ones is Ada Domains, and I've got a reservation for a domain on them that I got through their initial project launch. They're in beta at the moment. Cardano naming services, I think, going to be launching their beta at the summit next week. For the life of me, I can't remember what the domain is I'm supposed to be looking at. I do have one already, but it's on my other browser. So not in this browser history. Maybe if I can have a quick look at Twitter again, that's often comes to my rescue.
Zundan, when you're searching, if it is Web3, then if you could create the domain, can I go to Google now and just type that, it will get through that, I'll get to the web, yeah?
Not as of yet. That's what I was talking about. The browsers need to adopt that naming service before it really is going to see mass adoption.
I see.
But they are working on it. So CNS and Ada Domains are both looking to have their domain naming system up and running. Yeah, but I can't find it now. Very annoying. CNS. No, I did take it down somewhere, but I don't have it referenced from Windows, which I'm using to stream to you. Okay, never mind. But yeah, that's coming, and so we'll have full details on that in a couple of weeks as well, and I'll have the form for you to go and sign up for adoption of that. So those AA tokens will be of good value. I'm very happy to be receiving an allocation of those, and that'll be an ISPO that again we can promote about. So in the past we've given off MAC tokens, Indie tokens, which are related to the Indie platform. If you haven't been in, check to see if you're eligible for any of these on the distribution platforms, it's worth doing still. We've got AA tokens, which will be coming out, and that's starting to happen in the next couple of weeks. There was also an NTX allocation that was dropped. NTX is the distributed artificial intelligence infrastructure layer for Singularity Net, and will really help host open, accessible artificial intelligence engines as opposed to the closed paywalled AI that is being built out at the moment by various bodies. And of course, we've got Gimbal tokens, which are related to the Gimbal Labs team, on which I sat on the board for the tokenomics project. And we're hoping to kickstart that tokenomics activity again in the new year, probably. So we'll see some active action there as well. Some of the other tokens that are coming my way, which I'm going to do a promotion with, will be Optim Finance tokens. So at the moment, they've got if you are a holder of an Optim bond, they're going through a governance project process at the moment, where people who have participated in their bonds, hold the Opt token, can participate in their governance, in their decision-making infrastructures, which I find the links for. And in addition to their Opt bonds, which they've got released already, they're going to launch an Optim token. If you're a holder of an Opt bond, then you'll be receiving some Optim tokens for the earliest bonds that were taken out. So if you're a participant in Fluid bonds, in Fluid Pool's bond, then you'll be earning us some Optim tokens, and that will be coming out at their token generation event. Fluid Pool itself will be receiving allocation of those Optim tokens, and I will be distributing some of those in a promotion for delegates, long-term delegates to the pool. So that's another incentive for staking with Fluid Pool. And you can see the tokenomics for the Optim token laid out here. It is interesting to see how the Optim team have done. They launched at the start of the year. They've been fairly slow starting. They were very quiet for a long time, and now you can see that they're sitting as the fourth largest by market cap, by total value locked platform on Cardano. So they've really skyrocketed in terms of the amount of adoption they've seen, and as a result, they're pushing forward their initiative to move to a full DAO structure, so that the decision making, the direction that Optim finance team take in their development will be decided by the community that actually participates and interacts with their platform. And so they're up to now $12.5 million worth of ADA locked in their bonds. And seeing as the largest project is only got 45 in, that's a significant chunk of it. Sorry, go on, Itan.
But just wondering about double checking is I know like we got our our ADAs in our Fluid Pool. So are you like managing that in the background like in terms of Optim in like
A starter
a
like
start
last
all
time.
those in background is happening, right? I mean, do we have to do anything from our side or?
No, again, with most things in Cardano, you can put your radar in and things just happen because it's all got to follow. Like so, with a starter, they've got to have their token generation event, and then their allocation distribution of that token is will happen first, and because the Optim token and the A token don't exist yet, so there is no true market valuation for them. When they do launch, you will have got in before that market finding activity happens, and so the best time to get in on any project is at the earlier the better. If the project does well, then you'll benefit from the full rise of that token price. If the token goes to zero, then you've got in at the very beginning, and so your disappointment will be you'll have maximized your opportunity, so your disappointment will be as little as it can be. The is Denogo. There's the platform I was trying to find earlier. Maybe I can get to their website from here.
But then I think last time when they launched a starter, you said that because above 1,000 ADA, something like that, and we don't have to do anything. You will do everything because we are in a fluid member. So that's I think I do remember that one. That's why we didn't do nothing. So whatever it comes or goes, you will let us know. That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
So,
There's nothing we can do until the
yeah.
generation event. So that for the A starter opportunity, once the token generation event happens, then the ADA or the AA token that we bought will be distributed to the DAO wallet that we hold, and then we'll be signing transactions to actually distribute those out in their proper allocations to all the investors. And then you'll have AA tokens in your wallet, which then you can decide what you want to do with them, when to sell, whether to participate in some of the, because AA will be able to be used on the A starter platform itself. Oh, hi Dinesh, welcome.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So one question
nothing
is,
to do at the moment.
like this is again about. I think now we saw something like voting something. Jay, we saw in
No, earlier I just checked eternal because you said that we don't have to do anything and it's everything in a fluid delegation, and we checked it and it's already in a fluid, so I don't need to do. That's correct.
Cool.
And the token was we received the like a Catalyst proposal SSR one. Is that the one we are getting from the voting?
the voting reward.
Is that the one?
So there's a reward for voting,
Yeah.
which has not been paid out yet.
Yeah.
So you'll see that happen on this chart on the homepage of Eternal. So they'll be bumped up to be a chunkier distribution of rewards than you'd get from just normal staking. The size of that reward is not known as of yet. Fund 11 will be launching in the next few weeks. So at that point, by that point, certainly will have been paid out for our voting rewards in Fund 10. So yeah, we're still all just waiting for that as well at the moment.
Okay, then no, I've just seen like one is Catalyst proposal, something like that, and that's why, yeah.
We got some token.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what is that, but
so have you had your payout already then? Is it?
No. We that's
in
why we try
a
verify
token list. When I go to the token list, and I've seen because that's a new token I've received as like Catalyst proposal one, something like that. Maybe I will just check.
Oh, okay. So
it says 1 second. Project Catalyst proposal SSR Blizz token, and it's quite a lot. Amount owned 1, and then total in circulation is 1 million.
1 million or something like that.
Something
Yeah.
like that. But I never seen this
I don't know what
before.
is
It's
that
just like
about.
another
Yeah.
scam, though. That's why.
It sounds like someone sent a token to your wallet. If you haven't picked it up yourself, either from Drip Drops or Toasty Drop or Smart Claims, then someone, because it's the blockchain is public. If someone wants to, they can send anything into your wallet that they want to. They can't get it back out again, but they can send into your wallet. So if it's turned up without your knowledge, then somebody within the Catalyst ecosystem has decided to send you an NFT or a fungible token.
Yeah. Well, it says the project Catalyst PA token and created by Fractional Fusion. It says.
Okay, so maybe you got it as a reward for participating as a proposal assessor or registering as a proposal assessor in one of the previous rounds.
I don't remember doing that myself, but yeah.
Okay, maybe not. But I don't have a token, so you must have done something right.
It says use as wallet icon. What that means, I don't know what that says.
Yeah. So anything that's a fungible token or a non-fungible token can be used as the icon in your wallet. That's quite a cool thing to play around with.
CDN. I don't know. We don't need to do anything yet.
No.
Do you collect it or do you need anything at all?
So I just set my icon for my wallet as a cornucopias NFT. So you can do that with any of them. So you can use wallet icon, and now it's using the book token icon up there.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just something to play with, user interface stuff, really.
Okay. It's good. Thank you, Jonathan.
No problem. So yeah, so with us getting an allocation of Optim tokens when that launches, I will be distributing some of that out, and so these Optim tokens, I'm hoping we'll see a good launch, because they're the fourth largest by value locked platform on Cardano now. We've been in it from the beginning. The amount of flow into their protocol is still going up, so they're the fastest growing as well. In the last month, they've seen 43% increase in the amount of ADA locked in their protocol. And seeing as the largest one is only 45 and they are 12 at the moment, then they're certainly climbing up the charts at an impressive rate. So it'll be great to see how they do longer term. And interesting, I've just seen a starter have appeared on the list for the first time as well. So they've suddenly now hit the threshold of locked funds. Thank you. So that metric, $10 million dollars locked in their platform, must be from the maybe from the launch pad. So yeah, they do token launches from their launch pad already. So maybe they've seen that's where that figure's been aggregated, coming through their launch pad, which I actually haven't participated in at all. It looks like it's still in beta, because that's test ADA or test AA. I know, real ADA, test AA. Not sure. That might not be a real figure on DeFi Llama. That might be a miscommunication or something. Appeared from now around October 26th. What date are we now? The 27th, so just yesterday. I wouldn't trust that figure. It might disappear again. But interesting to see that they're obviously on the radar of DeFi Llama at least, which is great. Because that's another bullish signal for our token distribution. Yeah, right. So the other thing always worth looking at when you're on DeFi Llama is the adoption. So in terms of US dollar price action, this is US dollars flowing into the Cardano ecosystem. You can see that we got to our bottom at the start of 2023, and we've been on the rise all year. So dollars are flowing into ADA rather than out. And we've seen a really nice uptick in the last few weeks, obviously with the Bitcoin rise. If you, however, look at that chart in ADA valuation, so this is the amount of ADA being locked into some of the protocols I've been talking about, Indigo, synthetic assets, liquid lending platform, Optim Finance lending platform, A-Starter. Look at it in ADA denomination, and you can see that we've got a very different chart going on again. So from the start of the year, we've seen a really steep rise in the amount of ADA being locked into these tools, and that's because the smart contract ability on Cardano only released in September of 21. We saw all of the last 2 years people building out new protocols. It's been in a bear market, so not much of liquidity flowing into cryptocurrencies. Now those platforms have reached maturity. They're starting to see dollar amounts flowing in and the AID amount flowing in as well. So people are participating, starting to use these tools, which means that the associated token prices should do well as well over the next few months and years. So things are looking rosy. Might be worth just a quick look at the nice bump we've seen in prices over the last week or so. So Bitcoin has seen a really healthy jump, and as on the back of that, everything else has started to rise as well. So
is there anything reason behind this jump, Jonathan? Any sort of, it looks like big good jump in 20% nearly in for BTC.
Any reason for it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So most of the activity, certainly around Bitcoin, has been to do with the Bitcoin ETF rumors and murmurings. So an ETF is an exchange traded fund, which is a regulated product that will allow large investment entities like pensions start to invest in cryptocurrency for the first time. So if a pension can put their funds into a Bitcoin ETF, which is obviously a high risk asset in terms of the world scale of things, far more risky than, say, BP stocks or Colgate stocks or something. But with pension funds now having the option to be able to invest in those regulated products in a regulated market, that will see a whole load of new funds, new liquidity being provided to the cryptocurrency space. So Bitcoin ETF being approved is a massive win. It's not happened yet. These are all just murmurings before it happens, but regardless, the price has jumped, mostly to do with BlackRock, which is the largest investment company in the world. Their ETF is looking, more and more confident. There was a rumor, the price jumped 35, or the price of Bitcoin market jumped to 35 million. The rumor turned out to be false, and the Cointelegraph, I think it was, one employee in Cointelegraph managed to make $2.5 million off that jump and fall of the price of Bitcoin. So people are out there, making money, manipulating. We're not quite sure, both probably. But ultimately, that sort of triggered a whole load of speculation around Bitcoin ETFs in particular. And then in the last week, we've seen, those rumors, start to cement really, and so the price action has responded to that. If we look back over the month, we can see.
Like look at him to say, sorry, do you think it's sustainable in terms of rise? Because look at him to say around 30, 31, then it will look for another like seating or resistance. Do you think that's gonna happen? Because
as in areas of supply, prices that you think Bitcoin will reach? Is that what you're
I
asking?
think 31, 32, yeah. And after that, I think Luca has shown some sort of graph where after 31 or 32, then it will just go for another
Okay,
resistance.
so yeah, the zones I think that Luca was particularly interested in If we broke out of the 31 zone, then it was likely to go to 37. It was his next target. We haven't done that yet, so there's still potential in Luca's world for it to rise further with this jump, but we've definitely broken well out of that the 28-32 zone. I was looking at it yesterday, and in fact we've hit an interesting zone, and the price has turned around, or certainly settled just off this 35 mark. So 35,000 is probably an area of supply that we'll need to get through to actually then see a rise up to the 37. So if I drop to the 4 hourly, I think it was a bit more obvious on there even. Yeah, so you can see that there's a gap between between this candle and this one. So that was a huge jump down, sorry, to get to that. So we've crawled our way back up and launched our way over this sort of gap of no supply, but now we've hit this area of supply where price was speculated on a little bit, but we don't really have an indication of how much supply there is here, and certainly if an ETF launches, I think we'll break through it very easily, and so we could see ourselves up into this then range, which is the 37 to 40,000 range, fairly soon. Maybe in the next few weeks. If we don't do that, then we'll probably stay around here for a while or go back down. So, again, with any of these investments, there's risk involved in when you get in. There was very little risk getting in back here when we were being, looking at it and talking about it back in November 22, when we've climbed a long way since then. So Bitcoin's already really done half its climb back up to, sensible levels. Not near its all-time high yet. We've still got another sort of 50% to go. But and I think we will see the all-time high again next year. So yeah, that's double from where we are currently. So buying Bitcoin is still not a crazy choice to make. But we've already seen
maybe we missed the train kind of thing. Utan was thinking.
I tend to have this FOMO issue, you know what I mean?
So yeah, from the start of the year, we've seen a 50% rise. 50% so rise. So you maybe if you buy in now, you maybe and are willing to see it, potentially drop again, but then hopefully rise up. Well, I think we'll see the all-time high again. So you may have missed out on a third if you bought now, or you could see how it goes. But chances are,
I'll just wait.
Chances are, I think we'll see the 37 next.
Yeah, and then Jonathan, we have got some like USDT in a Tron. So for that, is it the USDT or the Tron USDT? It's a different. Before we used to have like a USDT, and then we transfer that in a Binance or Nexo quite easily, yeah. But now through that the 5% club, we receive some like a TUSDT, like a Tron one. It's a different one, isn't it? Like it's in a Binance and then Nexo they don't have it, so we have to change and then when they send back to the USDT. Is that right? What we can do?
I think Binance supports the Tron network, so you should be able to find out your Tron address for Binance, and then you can send your USDT from the Tron network into Binance, and then on Binance you can exchange it for USDT on Ethereum or wherever you want to have it finally reside.
So Jonathan, that the USDT Tron USDT we have is in your what's it called?
Exodus
wallet.
So can't we just change inside Tron USDT? Can't we change inside? Or
I think Exodus does have that ability. but
can do
I
that.
don't think that the conversion rates are particularly favorable in within the wallet. So swaps within the wallet tend to be quite expensive.
I see.
So Binance has certainly been cheaper when I've looked at it in the past. However, Binance has got all sorts of problems with UK
Yeah, and I'm
customers
receiving
at the
some
moment.
emails saying like some of the pairs they are like deactivating the pairs, something like that.
Yeah, deactivating pairs. We've got no off ramp at the moment from Binance, so we can't get it back to our banks or anything like that. So yeah, they're coming under heavy pressure, and this is all the more reason to you're better storing your tokens in Exodus than you are in Binance or Kraken, even. Because Exodus is a DeFi wallet, so you actually hold the keys within Exodus, whereas for Binance and Kraken you don't hold the keys.
What is the next? Do you have a Tron USD?
No, on the next also they don't have Tron USDT. And is the
Nexo is
crypto.com
centralized as
still
well.
going good?
Sorry, second.
Crypto.com.
Crypto.com is good still. It's got its off ramps back to our banks, still working, still happily. I use that as my main off ramp if I'm selling. And they have the debit card as well, the top up card that you can use to pay directly with. You have to swap some crypto into pound equivalents or dollar equivalents or euro equivalents on the card, but then you can spend that straight to the shops, which is a good way as well. They don't charge heavy fees, which is good, but they're making their money in the exchange rate they're offering you. So the prices you can buy and sell Cardano at, for example, are much better on exchanges, decentralized exchanges and centralized exchanges like Kraken and Binance than they are within the crypto.com app. But you're getting a whole load of functionality and benefit of being able to actually get your money out with crypto.com rather than you can't at the moment with Binance. So yeah, it's worth having these centralized exchange accounts, because we do still need to be paying for most of our stuff in fiat currencies. And having a few alternatives and trying to keep up to date on making sure you can get your money out at any point is worthwhile. Because you don't know when you might need it.
Yeah, and what do you do? Like these old coins, you are still keeping it at the moment, or you just change for, I tend to have lots of like altcoin in a Binance, and then now Binance is like saying like there is no pairs and all these kind of things. So shall we exchange? Even we will not get that much like a value, or shall we hold? That's also another thing to just.
If you can move those altcoins into a DeFi wallet, then that's probably worth doing. Very unlikely to be worth selling them now. All the altcoins I bought are less expensive now than they were when I bought them. So we're still in a loss position at the moment. But we don't know which ones are going to do well come the bull run. Any of those low cap altcoins could do 100x, in the next 2 years. So they're worth hanging on to still. With the pressures on Binance and the centralized exchanges, if you can get them into a DeFi wallet, it's worth doing. Mine at the moment are such low value. We're talking £10 worth. Maybe. I just don't think it's worth the effort of moving them out of Binance.
That's.
And if they disappear, they disappear. But yeah, I won't cry over them too much. But certainly, if you've got any sort of approaching significant holdings of them, or if there's still really good activity in terms of the development of the projects, then it is worth getting them into a DeFi wallet, whether that is Ethereum, MetaMask, Brave Wallet, or Exodus, or like Cardano, Ada Wallet, or something like that. It is always worth trying to get your tokens so that you hold the keys. The truest, longest standing saying in crypto is not your keys, not your crypto. So any crypto you hold on exchanges is at risk. You can't predict which ones are going to fail when. We saw with FTX disappear, and it's still around, but effectively disappear. Some of the large DeFi projects, or calling themselves DeFi projects, that are actually centralized ones, they disappeared as well. So you don't know when. We're still at the at the bottom of a bear market. Really, they're all running on air. They're running on no liquidity. So the chances of them surviving now probably is better than they were 6 months ago, but there's still not a lot of money to be made. So these large companies with overheads, are struggling all the time, unless they've got significant backing. So we don't know where they are at realistically. Proof of reserves is always a good thing to see and to look at on any of these centralized exchanges. Keep an eye on those. But yeah, even those aren't the full picture. Cool. We've got 5 minutes left, so I'll perhaps just touch on the last thing I wanted to look at, which is, as stablecoins are an important part of the ecosystem still, and we want to see their rise and success over and above central bank digital currencies. One of the ones I want to make sure you are aware of is USDM, which is a stablecoin on Cardano blockchain, built and governed by the community. So the guys behind it are Mehen. And can I find their website? I see. Such a pain having to switch to Windows. Mehen.io, maybe. Yeah, that worked. And USDM is a fiat-backed stablecoin. So effectively, for every dollar of USDM on chain, they're promised to have $1 of USD in a bank account. They're working with something like, I can't remember, was it 72 different regulatory bodies to have their stablecoin recognized, to become licensed regulated entities. So they're working in a full regulation approach. So they will have KYC and all the rest of it. The main difference being that they will be, they'll have full proof of reserves, and they will be fully regulated for holding those reserves. So they'll be one of the first stablecoins to really actually have a public and open policy when it comes to showing the dollars in their bank account and the dollars on chain. And so when you are moving any of your tokens into USDM, you will know that you can actually withdraw them for $1 equivalent in the bank, which gives you a level of stability and safety that isn't so much available elsewhere. Because even the largest ones like USDT, Tether, and USDC from Circle, there are questions over the reserves that they hold, and how those reserves may be being leveraged in various different ways for them to make more money off the back of the dollars that they're holding. USDM will not have that approach. They will have that dollar reserve all the time for their on-chain equivalents, and they're going to be regulated and stick to strong regulation and auditing all the way through. So they will have a proof of reserves, which hasn't come up yet, but this is a project that is really grassroots. So the people who are doing it are from the community. They've been involved in Project Catalyst. They've been in and around various projects in the community from the beginning. They have learned how to develop on Cardano, so they know that the technology. They've got experts from finance, so people who work in the traditional finance industry. They understand the restrictions that traditional finance has in terms of regulation, and also they understand that the openness and transparency that cryptocurrencies offer is crucial. And so having a stable coin that is sitting as the bridge between those two worlds is going to be crucial for us to see freedom of finance, freedom of currencies into the future. And so they're really, sticking to that mission, that purpose of having the ability to interact with the fiat world without any of the, restrictions or preventing the adoption of cryptocurrencies, decentralized cryptocurrencies as a whole. And so this is a token that I'm really interested in seeing how it does. And they are, again, opening up to a DAO, so you can participate in the governance, the decision making of this organization. Matt Plomin is the founder, and Steve Fisher is a CTO. Steve Fisher is also a stake pool operator, so you can check out. Oh dear, what's his stake pool? That's terrible. I've forgotten his stake pool handle. ADA for Warriors, A4W, I think it is. So he's interested in supporting A4W there. I can't remember his handle. He's interested in supporting wounded soldiers and so on and so forth, people who've served. So if you're looking to support another community pool, certainly give approval for ADA for Warriors. Mission driven single pool. Where's your handle? Forward, that's it. 4WARD. I'm not. I guess it's just forward. It's his clever take on it. So this is a stake pool. So if you want to delegate to a single stake pool operator who is working on a community project, then this is a good guy to stake with. And supporting these developers, these founders at the early stages of their development projects is a crucial thing. And their stake pools are a good way of doing that, because again, you're investing your ADA and you're getting 3.5% return, and you're also enabling somebody to be building within the Cardano ecosystem. So if you want ADA as a whole to do well, we need to support the developers. And if you're supporting developers through staking, then you're going to see results in the token prices because of the success of their projects. So yeah, that was USDM, and you can find out more about them from mehen.io and do some research there. They also have a newsletter, which I would suggest you sign up to, because I think they're looking at doing some kind of promotion for people who are subscribed to their newsletter, because they've been talking about it a lot. So yeah, do go and subscribe to that. I'll drop the links into Discord again. Right, any last questions, or I've spoken for a long time. Have I satiated you all?
Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Jonathan.
you answered lots of questions for us.
Yeah, it's
No
really
problem.
helpful. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, good. And I'll be back on again
Next week?
next week. I think I'm doing it next week. I'm not 100%. We've got the Cardano Summit next week, so most community events have stopped to let people travel to the various summits around the world. The Cardano Summit has a London meetup on the 4th, on the Saturday, so I'll be down for that. So if you want to come and meet me, come along to that.
Okay.
And
I'm traveling on 3rd, so I won't be here, but Duthan will be here, I think.
I'll manage with the kids, and I'll see how can, and if everything's okay, then I'll probably gonna join you.
Okay. And I think Dinesh, who's on the call, is
Do you have
heading to...
accommodation, Dhananand?
Say again, sorry?
Do you have accommodation already, or you're going to travel back?
I haven't decided yet. We've got a whole load going on that I might need to just get back for. But yeah, I'll give you a shout if I...
Give us a shout, give us a shout, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be good to see you anyway. So if I can maybe
Yeah.
drop by or something. And then Dinesh, I believe, is heading out to Dubai for the main summit. So
Dubai.
I hope that goes well for you, Dinesh. And I can't find the link to the community events. There, is that it? No. No. But anyway.
Yeah. Give us a shout. Yeah.
I'll find the link and drop it on the chat. But yeah.
So
Other
you need
than
to
that,
register first? You need to register for the Cardano Summit?
for the London one,
If
not
going, then maybe if needed to register, then
sure a place. Yeah, it might be worth doing if they have a form. Chances are you can just come along anyway. There's none of them have been full to saturation yet, so I don't think these will be any different. But yes, there's bound to be a registration form off here somewhere. Europe, London. Oh, saying it's sold out. So you can go and register on here, but just turn up anyway. If you want to come along anyway, I'm sure you'll get in. That's been the case in previous events. So even they have a limited allocation of tickets on here, but actually at the event day itself, there are lots of no-shows or additional tickets available. So come along, and I think by registering here, you probably make yourself eligible for one of the NFT promotional NFTs as well, which can lend to benefits down the road too.
Okay. No.
Good, and I'll be speaking.
I
on
will
the
be here,
operator
so
panel.
if you want to stay, that's also fine, Jonathan.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I'll see what I can do. But I'll be in touch either way, and I think I'll be. Yeah, I'll say the call will be on next Friday anyway, unless I change, and I'll give a message on during the week. Okay. Yeah, good to see you all, and
thank you, Jonathan.
See you all soon. Have good weeks and safe journeys, Jaya. Hope the poll's good too. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Okay,
thanks.
bye.
I shall see you all soon. Bye bye.
Bye.